Hello everyone, it's Jessica and I'm back with another layout for the Not Just for Boys Kit Club. Today I'm using the Sunshiny Day Kit and also the Daydream Limitless Kit. So I'm combining both of them because I found that they match pretty well with each other and they have similar aspects. So I'm going to just mix mine together and use a little bit of both. So I'm starting this layout with a cut file piece that you saw there that I've pulled off, and I am using a white sheet of cardstock here that came in the kit, and I am just sprinkling some of the shimmers that came with this onto my background piece. And then this cut file is actually left over from a layout that I did a couple weeks ago, I think it was around the 17th or the 18th of the month, and this is the negative piece of the cut file that I'm using. And here I ran out of tape in my tape runner, so I left this bit in the video just in case you have one of these and you have trouble loading it. I have become a pretty good expert on refilling my tape gun, so I left that in the video for you in case you need to see how that's done. And this is just the negative piece of that cut file, so I used the inside piece, which is the actual cut file, and then this is the rest of it, but I didn't want to throw it away because I just thought it's so pretty and I didn't want to waste any bits of either one of these kits because they're both just so beautiful. And what I've done here is I'm going to make some shaker pockets in some of these sun rays. So I have attached it here to a clear sheet of acetate, which I get mine on Amazon. And as you can see, I've done that with my tape runner here, and I'm flipping this over. I'm going to work from the back side. So I am just using some of the Big Mama foam tape from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and I am just going to create some shaker pockets here. So I'm going to close off a few of these sections so that I can fill them up with these beautiful sequins that came in this kit with the little flamingos. So basically I'm just creating some foam tape around the pockets where I wish to hold the sequins, and I'm making sure that all the edges are sealed up and closed so that none of those sequins fall out whenever I put the whole layout together. So I'm only doing a few sections. I'm not going to do every one of these sections because I don't want to fill them all with sequins, and I want to have some left over in case I want to pop some on the layout when I'm done too. But I'm just going to fill, I think, 4 sections today. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm closing up 4 of these sections. I'm not very careful about my tape showing through towards the middle there because that's where I'm going to place my photo anyways, so that's all going to be hidden. So I'm just closing up all of these sections, and then I'm actually going to add some foam tape to the rest of the backside as well. That way the whole entire back of it is popped up, and whenever I put the white cardstock back up against it, none of that gets smushed down and it all has the same thickness. So I spilled my sequins a little bit, so I had to pick up some of those, but I'm just filling up those shaker pockets now with the sequin mix. I actually opened mine up upside down, so that's why I spilled it, but no worries. I picked up my mess, and I'm just making sure that the flamingos are evenly distributed because there's only a few in my mix. So I wanted to make sure that there was a couple flamingos in each one of the pockets. So here's my dried background piece that has the shimmers on it, and I am just going to make sure that that's stuck down in all the places before I flip it over. That way I don't lose any of those sequins. You can see my splatters there in the background on the white pieces that don't have the sequins in it, and then of course the pockets that are filled up with those beautiful sparkles. So here I've just matted my photo with some smooth white cardstock, and then here's where I have like a dummy brain fart moment. That pocket that I just put on my page, I'm going to use it, but I didn't realize that that is the back side of the pocket. The opening of the pocket is on the other side. So I realized that whenever I actually go to stick my photo down. But first I'm going to work on my title. So I've pulled these letters out of the Limitless kit, and I've also pulled out my sticker sheet from my Vicki Boutin Where To Next collection because there's a lot of elements in that kit that are from that collection. And then I am going to add a bunch of these little lemons. I loved these lemons. This is what actually inspired this layout. I thought, boy, I can use these little acrylic lemons on this page and put my main squeeze. So yes, I'm showing a little bit of favoritism towards him by saying he's my main squeeze, but you know what? It's okay. My kids will forgive me. They're all my favorites. Here's my brain fart moment where I realized that that pocket was upside down. I actually like the outside better because it has that finished grommet, but you know what? That's how it's supposed to be with the opening on the inside like this. So I'm gonna flip it over and use the blue side, but the other side was cute as well. And you know what? I wouldn't put it past me to use it on a layout if I had more pink in the layout. So you can use either side of the pocket. No one will judge you, and it'll be just fine. So I'm pulling out some elements from an older collection by Echo Park. This is one from the summertime collection, and then I've also pulled out a slice of summer by Echo Park too, because they have a lot of little lemonade bits in those two collections. So I've pulled out both of those just to use a couple little things from it. I pulled off a couple of the adhesive brads. One that's still sitting on my little package right there is a little camper because we were camping. So this is him just cruising around in his little blue car in our camping area, and he just loved it, and everyone else loved it too. They always comment on how cool this little car is, and he just loved cruising around. So I thought that little key would go great next to it, and I've pulled out a couple little drinks to put there since it'll go with my title. And then I pulled out these labels in my stash. I think they're from Pretty Little Studio, but I'm just going to put my date stamp on one of them, and I'm going to trim it down and stamp on the other side as well, because as you guys know, I don't like to waste anything. So I'm trimming off the excess of that, and I'm going to use it on the other side of my layout. So just going to pop this down, and then I'm going to put this one here with a little bit of journaling as to where we were, which was Ole Bull State Park. It's our favorite campground to go, and I'm just going to write that real quick on here and then tuck it back in there. I did write a little bit close on the left side, closer than I would have liked, so I ended up moving it from here because then it kind of looked funny, like it was hanging out there too far. So I end up taking that off and taking my other sticker off at the top of my photo and putting it on the top area of the photo instead. So here's that extra little tag that I cut off. I'm actually just going to stamp this cute little sun on there. That's a stamp set from Technique Tuesday, which is one of my favorite little summery wordy bit kind of stamp sets. And I'm just going to tuck this little guy right over here on the side. So I'm going to tuck that, and then I decide I want to put some of those little adhesive brads on here. So I'm going to grab my thread here in a moment. Here is where I am moving things around and popping that just on the top of my photo there. A couple of these elements in this are from the Retro Summer Simple Stories pack that came in the Sunshiny Day Paige kit. So I've pulled out a few bits from that. And just twiddling some thread here. This is just some plain white thread, nothing special about it, but I'm just kind of bunching it up behind my adhesive brad and using a couple glue dots to secure that down. And then I'm just going to start sticking down all of these elements, making sure everything's adhered really nicely to the layout. And I'm going to attach another one of these brads. These are just the adhesive brads, so there's no actual brad piece to it, and no metal piece that you have to poke through your paper or anything, which is kind of nice. So yeah, I'm just going to finish up putting those down. I think I put 3 total on this layout, and then I'm going to do something with that thread at the top of that envelope too. So I think I'm going to just make it kind of like a loopy bit. But I found the other little lemon in one of my other collections. Or was it this one? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. I have so many little pieces. I've been stash mixing so much lately and just trying to use up a lot of my stuff that I'm pulling in elements all the time from different places. It's hard to keep up and remember what everything is from. So here's that little thread. I'm going to just use my Tim Holtz tiny attacher stapler to just staple the ends of this thread around and kind of loop it around how I want it to go. But you can also use your Nuvo liquid adhesive that I have laying on my desk right there. You can get that in the shop. You can use that for your thread too because it dries clear. So you only need a little dab of it and it'll dry clear and it'll just sit exactly where you put it, which is really nice. So I decided to use this little matte piece from the Where to Next collection by Vicki Boutin, but I wanted to pop it up for some dimension. So I am popping it up with some 3D foam tape by Thermoweb, and then I just put some more thread in behind it. And then just to finish this off, I am going to doodle around my edge here because I thought it looked a little bit plain. And then I'm going to top it off with some journaling. So that's going to finish this one off. I'll link the kits below for you guys in case you want to grab them from the shop. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope I've inspired you to create something beautiful today. And thank you guys so much for being here and for watching. So have a great day. Bye-bye.